This video is a quick run through of most of the parts and pieces of my Austin 7, 1923 Austin 7 Brooklands racer. I call it the Post Office Special. And what's different about this cycle car is I designed it to be able to disassemble it and ship it, which is what I'm doing here. It's gonna go get sent to my buddy Mike Kelly in Connecticut, and he's gonna put it together for me. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it gets there, it doesn't get broken, but nothing's lost, and it's all well and good. And I made it easy enough for him to be able to figure out what the heck I was thinking. So I'm going to run through the parts and pieces real quick, or I'm going to try to be quick. This is the back end, and the back end's made, goes in these 1 inch by 1 inch solid aluminum slugs. They're fixed into this part of the body, and then they just slide in. They receive in on this side, and then there's 6 grade 8 bolts that go through, that hold the back end to the front end. And then where the bolts go through, I sleeved them with tubing so it doesn't crush, the grade 8 hardware doesn't crush the frame pieces. This part's actually pretty heavy too. This part's probably working on 50 pounds, 45 pounds, somewhere in there. It's pretty stout. That part alone weighs more than this whole front end. This whole thing right here. This is not very heavy, but there's not a lot of steel here. There's a lot of aluminum, and that's where this thing gets its weight from. Is I did this stress skin setup right here, and there's a lot of rivets on that thing. I counted one of my videos. I counted 500 rivets on one side, and that wasn't in the middle or anything like that. So there's a lot of rivets on that joker. All right, got the steering wheel. We got the front end. We've got the very heavy Tractor Supply super heavy duty trailer axle. We got Speedway perches and shackles. I think they're for a Model A or a Model T or something like that. Of course, the steering arms and the Azusa spindles. I got Renegade spindles. I don't know why I didn't use them. I can't remember. And then the radius rods. And the radius rods mount here, and then they come out to the axle, and they go through these washers right here. They're heavy-duty washers. And they're not preferable. I would have liked to have had a piece of 120 wall or 120 or 1/8 thick flat bar go through there, but the daggone perch and shackle and spring are all in the way. So in hindsight, I would have liked to have done the perch up higher to free this space up. But I didn't know to do that, and my daggone my perch here is too low. I would have had to make this perch higher. I didn't want to have to redo this, so I'm just living with that axle the way it is. And this perch, by the way, what I'm using is 3/16 L bracket, 2 of them, 1. And then 2 goes on the back, and then I just welded them up, and I painted it black so you probably can't see what's going on there. Nothing too fancy, nothing too sophisticated. Fiberglass radiator cover, my hood, spare bit of chain, spare belt for the CVT, spare bearings for all the wheels. Now I got 2 different styles of bearings I had to use. Spare gaskets and master links. A spare CV22 knockoff and a extra that's already got a throttle cable on it. Hubs, axle, 8-inch brake disc. Hardware, that's the hardware that puts the back end on. Grade 8 stuff. Then there's the lock collars, chain, hub for the sprocket. There's a split sprocket. One of Mark Parnell's Renegade hubs. Don't know why I have both of them out here, or don't have both of them out here. An eBay gas tank. Giving those things a try. Haven't figured out the fuel cutoff spout one knows very well. I don't know if it gives enough fuel. The axle, I located the daggone lock collar on one side and left it there. So when you slide it in, it's already centered. And then the cushions, the head fairing back there, a bag of trash on my back, and then of course the motor and the CVT, and then another box of spare parts. I think that's it. I think that's about all of it. That's the major parts and pieces. Now I got to figure out getting it crated up in a box and shipped to Connecticut.